Out here throwing a casting jig today. Water's been real cold, 42 degrees, and they were biting a crankbait a little bit when it warmed up, but it got real cold again. We had several nights way below freezing, and a week ago the water was 42 degrees. Today it has warmed up to 47.5, and I thought there'd be a better crankbait bite, and there is a little bit, but I picked up a casting jig a few minutes ago and caught two nice ones, so I figured I better turn the camera on and see if we can't catch a big one on film. Golly, dang it. I threw that right in his mouth. Dang. I'm rusty. Start of the year. Gotta be ready to swing quicker. It's no good. Yeah, I threw that one up there, let it sit for a second, popped it one time, and he jarred it. We'll try to catch us a good one here in a second. The jig I'm throwing is just a homemade ball head jig. I just poured up, I'm sure, several years ago. And it's got a skirt I made up from Skirts Unlimited. And it's got a Zoom Super Chunk trailer on there, and I dyed the tails yellow. The water's real muddy. I don't know if you can see here, but we've had a lot of rain, a lot of snow and ice and stuff like that, and so there's been constant runoff in the lake. And a lot of people run away from the mud. I actually don't. I don't run away from dirty water. I actually like dirty water. I think the fish will get a lot shallower than people will expect them when the water's dirty, especially if it's warming up. I mean, it doesn't work all the time. You know, you've heard the adage that cold, muddy water is the worst water. I mean, a lot of times that's true, but if you're paying attention and you get on the water, you know, once or twice a week, if you're lucky, you can kind of see which direction the water temperature is going and play off of that. There's definitely some fish in here. I've had 4 or 5 bites. I've caught 3 fish. So that just tells me they're wanting to get up there and feed and fill their bellies up before the spawn. I mean, it's still, they're not gonna spawn here for a couple more months, but a lot of the fish, the better fish we've been catching in that 5 to 8 foot range are super white, which generally that's an indication those fish came from deep water, and now they've turned and coming up shallow, and since the water's muddy, they're just not getting any sun to really bring out their green pigment. When I'm throwing a casting jig, I kind of throw at 45-degree angles head of the boat, but I'm fishing fairly steep bank. The boat's sitting in 15 foot of water, and I can throw up into a foot of water. So I got, you know, 1 to 15 feet I can cover, and it seems like most of my bites they're coming out, either I get around a big rock or a stump or something. I had one I lost in a brush pile a minute ago. So, you know, I'm not really fishing schools per se, but there's a lot of fish in this little area I've been fishing, so. Figured we'd turn on the camera and see if we could get a good one on film. As far as working a casting jig, I keep it pretty simple. I like little short hops, and I'm not trying to jump it a foot off the bottom. I'm trying to just pop it up along those rocks, up on a rock, and then let it sit. Up on a rock and let it sit. And I'm real particular about, you know, I pop, and I immediately reel down so I don't have any slack in the line. Because generally you're gonna feel that bite after you pop it, and then as it's going down, you kind of feel it go back to the bottom, and you keep that tension on your line. I want it to just Maybe go a foot and fall. Maybe go a foot and fall. A foot forward, not a foot up, but I'm just kind of scooting it along like a crawfish would. Like a nervous crawfish or something looking at it. And you can catch them just dragging, but what I'm fishing, I'll show you here on the bank, it's a lot of riprap rock and then the natural chunk rock that was here before they put the riprap in. And so it's a straight drag. Sometimes you get it in those crevices. I don't know what that was. Something pecked it, but he never picked it up. I've missed a couple because I didn't jerk immediately, so I'm a little gun shy. Come on, fish. They're biting pretty good there for about 20 minutes, and as soon as I break out the camera, they quit. That's not how it goes. There's your buddy. God, that piece of brush on that stump. God. It's a drum. No, it ain't either. Big old bass. Oh man. This is a nice one. Oh gosh. All right, come on. That's a fatty. Look at that. Look at that fish. It's a nice one. Oh, yeah.
Anything? Not a sniff. You? Nothing.
Hey Ike, what am I doing wrong?
Hey man, try some of these new VMC flipping hooks. They're perfect for pulling big bass out of heavy cover.
Thanks, Ike.
You're welcome. It's got an epoxy keeper bar for keeping the plastics on there, and you gotta flip it in the cabin and set the hook. Set the hook hard, 'cause you gotta get him out of there. Get him out! And set the hook and reel him in. Get him out of there. Get him out of there. You got him. You got him. I can't say anything.